I have already started, Subbu.
Okay, thanks. Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. We have Vishal with us today. So he's an experienced Sitecore developer and experienced trainer. So he has conducted multiple trainings, and also he's very active in social media. If you have seen his posts, he used to share tips and tricks about Sitecore, and he's been recently running some campaigns and all around the headless. And also I've heard from him that like he has prepared a questionnaire for someone like who is interested to take a practice test before attempting any XM Cloud certification, right? So which was also interesting. So yeah, thanks Vishal for taking time to create the presentation and being with us. Over to you now. Thanks.
Sure. Thank you so much, Subbu. So let me share my screen. Just one second. Okay, so let me introduce myself first. As Subbu already told, like I'm Vishal, so I'm working as a senior Sitecore developer in Altuto, and I have exposure on multiple versions of Sitecore like 8, 9, 10, and current headless architecture. And as we all know, like Sitecore recently launched 2 weeks back, like XM Cloud Developer Certification, and I got opportunity to go for that exam, and I have cleared that. So I thought to share that knowledge with you guys. So let's start with the session. So topic is like path to success in XM Cloud certification. So in this exam, we have 8 competencies from which the exam will be managed. And like if I talk about the exam, like there will be 50 questions and we have 100 minutes of duration to complete the exam, and the pattern will be almost same like if you guys already gave the 9 and 10 exam. So there will be 80% of marks which you will be need to clear this certification, and once submit the exam you will get the result at the same time. Okay, so I have split down the competencies with a number of questions as well. And we have 8 competencies. So first one, like XM Cloud architecture and developer workflow. Then we have deployment of XM Cloud projects, then rendering and layout, then Sitecore content serialization, then Sitecore API and webhooks, then XM Cloud pages, then security for developers, and then last is the data modeling. So today I'm going to explain you each and every competency, like the overview and what you need to prepare for the exam if you're going to if you want to go for the exam. And we'll discuss about a few important questions as well and the practice exam as well, which you can go with before giving the actual exam. So starting from the first competency, XM Cloud architecture and developer workflow. So what is XM Cloud? So as we all know, like XM Cloud is a SaaS platform, which means software as a service that includes DevOps inbuilt in itself. Like it is out of box feature of XM Cloud. We have a deploy app to do the deployments. Earlier in previous, if we talk about traditional one like XP, and we are dependent on the DevOps engineer, and we need them for or we are going to dependent on the DevOps thing for the CI/CD pipelines and deployments. Now we have inbuilt out-of-box deploy app within XM Cloud, and it also offers front-end builder capabilities, so which we can create multiple XM Cloud components as well. So there are a lot of good features of XM Cloud, like scalability and performance. Like XM Cloud is based on headless architecture, so like performance is very good for the sites which are built in XM Cloud, and it is easy to maintain and management. Like how we are saying that like it is easy to maintain and manage because it is a SaaS base. So Sitecore will take care of all the things like about the upgrades or if there's any bug in the product. So we don't need to take care of anything. So everything will be taken care by the Sitecore now. And it offers like multi-channel support. So we can create website, mobile applications, and there are a lot of good features. We can develop the pages and we can view them in the multiple breakpoints. and how a page will look like in the different breakpoints as well. So we'll see further in the future slides. Then integrates seamlessly. What it means is like we can integrate anything with Action Cloud. It's very easy to integrate because everything will be an API. We can integrate like Content Hub one or the other composable products with Action Cloud. It's easy to integrate them and fetch the data from them. Okay, now if we talk about the architecture of XM Cloud, so we have an XM Cloud which offers three experience authoring things like components, pages, and sites. Okay, we have a component builder, page designer to design the pages, and we can create the sites as well through the XM Cloud portal only. Then if we talk about this portal, we can create multiple projects in XM Cloud portal, and each project is having three environments. Okay, so we have a option to create three environments. One will be the production, and two will be the non-production environments. And then we have a deploy app as well, which we can connect with the GitHub. So whatever, if we want to bring some React or Next.js components on the XM Cloud, we can develop them in our local instance and push them. And through the deployment app, we can build and deploy the code on the XM Cloud. And as we know, like there is no CD server now in XM. So earlier in XP, we have a CM/CD servers. But now in XM Cloud, we have Experience Edge. So our sites will be served from the Experience Edge. So this is the like architecture. We can do the development, deploy our solution to the XM Cloud, and then publish. After publish, the site will be served from the Experience Edge. Then if we see some of the basic terminologies, maybe you will get a few questions from these things as well, because these are the basic things. But there are few questions you will get into the exam based on them as well. So CM instance is a simple one, like we have a hub for creating, storing, and managing content, layouts, and permissions. Everything we can handle in the CM instance. Then we have a deploy app, as I mentioned, like we have a deploy app inbuilt, which will help us to manage the environments and the project, and we can do the deployment. And then we have Experience Edge. Experience Edge is an API-based service, okay, which will help us to serve the site, serve the live sites, which will get the data from the Sitecore and show us on the live site. Then we have a site collection. Site collection is also one of the major important topic. You will get 2 to 3 questions on site collection as well. So what site collection is? Okay, so we have this hierarchy like site collection folder, site collection, site folder, and site. Okay, so like if you guys are familiar with the SXA, in SXA we have a tenant. Okay, so how we structure think in the site content tree. So we will create a tenant folder, and in that we need to create a tenant, and under tenant we have to create site folder, and we can group all the sites in a particular tenant. Okay, so in headless we have a site collection folder. This is a tenant folder, and on site collection this is a tenant. And we have a as in SXA as well, we have a lot of good like options on tenant level. Like if we talk about like shared site, we have an option here on the site collection level. We can like if we have a requirement to create multiple websites, so we can create a site, single site, and build all the components in that site, and then we can make that site as a shared site. So all other sites which will be created under the same site collection will be able to use those components and every thing. So we can use the shared site concept on the collection level. Then we have a cloud portal. Sitecore Cloud Portal is a central hub. So in the cloud portal, we have access of all the composable products. Okay, like if we want to access Content Hub, CDP, Action Cloud. So all the composable products will be accessed via the site cloud portal. Then after we have a XM Cloud starter template. So like if we have to start from the scratch, this is something we can clone from the GitHub, and we can it will give us the required resources and assets and everything. So this is like a basic overview about the XM Cloud architecture and how it will be structured into the content tree and some of the good features. Then as we like if we have a portal like as we discussed earlier, like we have XM Cloud portal. Now there should be some roles to restrict the access of users. Like we need to manage that portal as well now. So there are three roles in which we can give to the users. So there's an organization owner, admin, and user. So if we talk in hierarchy, organization owner is on top. Okay, so like as we are in Altodo, so Altodo is an organization, and if someone in Altodo is an owner, then under that we can create admins. Okay, so owner will have rights to create admins and users, and admin is also having right to create user and admin as well, but the owner will also have access to manage other owners as well. If there are two owners or three owners, if any owner want to remove any existing owner, so owner have access to manage other owners, but admin have access to manage other users. And for user, we can only give the access to the specific apps. Like if we want some resources to work on the XM Cloud or someone to use the CDP, so we can, based on the requirement, we can provide the access to the users to the specific apps. And from this area as well, there will be you will get 2 to 3 questions in the exam based on roles, how we can assign the roles to the users. So I will try to showcase that as well, how we can do that in the XM Cloud portal. And next thing is how we can connect the XM Cloud pages with our local XM Cloud instance. Okay, so it is a very simple thing to connect XM Cloud pages with the local XM Cloud instance. Simply, we need in the developer tool, in the we have an application tab. Under that, we have a local storage. In that, we need to create one entry with the key and value. And we need to use this key and this value to connect the local instance with the XM Cloud pages. Then next, we have a deployment of XM Cloud projects. So we have 3 options for the deployment to do the deployment of XM Cloud project. Like first one is the XM Cloud deploy app, then CLI, then REST APIs. Okay, and XM Cloud Deploy app is the like is a graphical user interface which will require very less efforts. We can simply configure and do the deployments in an easy way. So it is the one of the like major focus area in the exam as well, because this one is the something new which has been launched. So CLI is a, like some commands which we can hit from the CMD or from the terminal, which will trigger the deployment on the portal. Then we can use the REST APIs as well. But if we talk about the exam perspective, the XM Cloud Deploy app is the important one. And now how to use this deployment app? Okay. And there is some roles will be required to access this deploy app. Like everybody is not having access to do the deployments on XM Cloud. So either organization admin or owner will be able to do the deployments through the deploy app. So if any user want to do the deployment, then we need to make him admin for to give him the access to do the deployments on the XM Cloud. And we can access the deploy app with this URL. And I will try to showcase this deploy app, how it looks like, how the projects are structured in that. And there are a lot of key features of that. Like we can, through this deploy app, we can create the projects and associate the project with the environment as well. Okay, so and we can environment management and source control integration. So what all these means is like whenever we create a new project and link it with a environment, okay, then we need to associate that project with a branch as well. Okay, and we can set up few configurations like if we connect our project with a GitHub branch, then we can manage that whenever we want, when we want to trigger the deployment. If you want to set some rule, like we usually do, whenever the new commit has been change has been pushed into the branch, it will automatically trigger the deployment. Or if we don't want to automatically trigger the deployment, we can do manual as well. So sorry. So these configurations we can do whenever we are going to create a new project in the deploy app. And and we can link, we need to set the environment for which environment we are creating that project. We need to link that project with the GitHub, and we can set some rules over there, like when we want to trigger the deployment. Either we can do manual, or we can do whenever there is a new change has been pushed. Then this is like GUI based, and it is designed for the users who may not be comfortable with the command line interface and want more intuitive experience. So this is about like deploy app. Then we have a deployment logs as well. So like as you know, like whenever we are doing the deployments, there are some scenarios when we will get some errors. So there is a deployment logs which we can track. So, but it will show us it is a real-time progress tracker for the deployments. It display like the status warnings and errors. We can filter them if you want to see errors, warnings. So those things we can check in the deployment logs, and it will provide us like the like there are 4 steps in this one: provisioning, build process, deployment, and post action. Provisioning means like starting of the environment and all those things. Prerequisites will be there. Then there's a build process in that like build will be processed, then deployment will trigger. Then fourth will the post action. Post action means if there is any publishing of items, it will take care of publishing as well in the post actions. So these are the 4 steps in the deploy app whenever we do the deployment. And there will be questions in the exam related to these steps, like how many steps or what are the steps. So you will get some questions related to that, the deployment logs, and what actions we can do from here. Like I will try to show that as well. So it will allow us to, if you want to cancel any running deployment, and if you want to rerun a failed deployment, and we can promote our deployment to the another environment as well from here itself. And we can download the logs and open the XMPloud dashboard from here. So this is a deploy app. And if you want to go to the dashboard XMPloud, we can go directly from here. So it's about deployment app and the deployment logs. Then we have renderings and layouts. So in renderings and layout, as like it's if you have seen in XMPlot project as well, in Sitecore content tree, it will still follow the like same SXA structure. So like because as we know, like page design, partial design are the one like which will give us a good option for make the reusable things and the consistent to maintain the consistency. So we can use them for the structure the pages. Okay, so partial design allow us to maintain consistency and save time when we build and updating web pages. So we can edit at one place, so changes will be reflected to all the pages which are using the same partial design. Then we have some key pointers to have some control over rendering. So sometimes, you know, like we want to control the renderings, like control the authors. Like in footer, we don't want author to add complex components. Like we want only rich text, image, or link list will be added into the footer. So we can, on the placeholder settings, we can set some allowed controls, which we want to allow the authors to add those components only, because so we can add some allowed controls on the placeholder level. We can restrict the those things. Then we can link page design to the data template. So like there are 2 options to link the page design with the pages. Okay, either on the item level, we can select the page design which we want to use, or on the we can map the page design with the template itself. Okay, so it's always as a best practice, it's if we can link the page designs with the templates, then it will be the consistent. So authors no need to select the page design whenever they are going to create the new pages, because we can map directly the page design with the template. So we can take care of those things as well. Then third one is the like do not add components directly to the page design. So like as we know, like we need to add the components on partial design. Then on page design, we can select the partial designs. Like if we need to create a blog detail page, then we can like all the pages we are split into the 3 parts, like main, header, and footer. We can create header, and in main section we can put all the components for the detail part, like any banner, image, or text, whatever is needed. Then we have a footer. So all these partial designs, 3 partial designs, we need to add on the page design. And then we can map that page design with the data template. So then that will be the structure which we need to maintain into the Sitecore. And yeah, and from this as well, like you will get some questions about the partial designs and page designs in this XML Developer Certification exam. Then we have building components in XML. Okay. So like a few months back, like Sitecore launched the component builder to build the components. So it's a powerful tool that let you create new components or modify the already existing components using an intuitive WYSI builder. What it means is what you see is what you get. Okay, so now it's a Canva mode. If I say, or it's a more upgraded version of Experience Editor. We can say that there are a lot of good features in this. Like we can edit the components as we add in the Canva. We can move the component anywhere on the page. If there is text coming on a banner, so if we want to move that text on live, left, right, or top or on bottom, we can move anywhere. Simply we need to drag that thing, that block. So it's very easy. We can resize the components and we can do everything like with this builder. So it is a great feature. And it benefits are like it allows designers to resize and style the components. Content authors can easily add components to site pages via the page application. So there are two things. One is component builder, in which we can build the components. Second is the page designer or the page builder, in which we can build the pages by selecting those components. Then there are a lot of integrations options. Okay, so like we can build the XM Cloud components. There are a lot of things which we can drag and drop simply. Okay, so it's a low-code, no-code solution for content authors and designers. They can simply add a blog section, then they can drag and drop the card and all those heading sections, headings and paragraphs, everything we can simply drag and drop and use. Then developers can bring your own code by referencing an external code base. Okay, so we can bring the React components as well in this component builder library. Okay, we need to develop the component in the local and we need to register that component. So that will be available. So we have option to create the custom components as well. And we can preview the registered components as well in the component builder. So we can see that and we can use those components as well in the component builder. Then we have a fourth one like the Sitecore content serialization. So on serialization, as in Sitecore 10 exam as well, there are some questions. So in this as well, like there are a lot of questions. You will get 3 to 4 questions on content serialization. So content serialization is a system for serializing, sharing, and deploying the content items, as well as keeping them in version control. Okay. So as you know, like we are using the serialization for deploying the content items from one environment to another, and we can keep them in the version control. So what is required? So scope is required for limit the serialization, because if we are setting up the serialization, and we can't serialize the complete content, right? We need to see like what items we want to serialize. So scope property is required if we want to limit our serialization. And there are multiple scopes, like if you want to serialize only the single item, we can use this scope, and item and children, item and descendants only. And the default value is item and descendants. If we are not, specify the scope with the path, then it will automatically take the item and descendants. So based on the requirement, we can set the scope, and we can serialize the content manually or automatically. That's up to us. Like if we want the manual serialization, we need to uh, like trigger some commands from the terminal or from the CMD for the serialization pull and push. But for the automatic as well, if we want some items like some templates with the updated date or the created date, if we want automatically serialized, we can configure that as well for the automatic serialization. Then to install the serialization, we need to execute this command in the CMD. And there are a lot of commands, but important subcommands are these one. And you will definitely get questions from either from this or from the previous slide about the scope, areas, how we can do the serialization, and from the subcommands as well, like The important ones are like the info subcommand. Info subcommand will show serialization configuration information. Then we have a pull subcommand. Pull means like serialize content item from Sitecore instance to the file system. Pull, we can say that like pull means we are pulling the content from Sitecore and creating the files into the file system. And push means push the serialized content into the Sitecore. We are pushing the data from the file system to the Sitecore. Then we have a watch subcommand. Watch subcommand is like for monitoring the changes. Like if I'm working on a Sitecore and there are a lot of changes I'm doing, so maybe I will forget in the evening, but whatever I did in my whole day. So we can execute this WhatsApp command. It will monitor all the changes and will list down, and we can serialize directly whatever changes we did in the complete day. And if we want to exclude something, so there's a sitecore.json file. We need to exclude that particular path from the serialization. Then we have a Sitecore APIs and webhooks. Okay. The Sitecore authoring and management API. This one is one of the good feature and a powerful tool which simplifies content management in the Sitecore instance using GraphQL. So what are the what is the use of this API and what are the key features? Okay, with the API, we have freedom to design custom authoring experience for the content authors. Okay, so we can customize the XM the authoring experience for the authors, and we can allow us to extend Sitecore Experience Manager by creating custom dialogues and user interfaces. Okay, and we can this API is designed to be upgrade safe, which means like if there are any upgrades which are going on the backend side, it will not impact whatever we have implemented with this API. So we can use this API to improve the authoring experience for the authors based on the requirement. And then we have webhooks. Okay, webhooks is one of the important topic from the exam perspective. So what webhooks are? So we can receive real-time notification about events or workflow actions that occur in XM Cloud by adding a webhook. Okay, so we can run the validations or whenever workflow state change, all those things we can handle with the webhooks, and we can track the events, workflow actions, whatever is happening into the site code. We can track everything with the help of webhook. Okay, so there are three type of webhooks. Okay, so one is webhook event handler. So we can configure a webhook event handler to send a request to a specified endpoint when an item with the web page template is created. So if you want to create an event handler, okay, in that whenever the new item has been created, we want to send the response to a particular endpoint, and so which we can use that to send the notification or anything. So in that way, we can see if any new items has been created. So we can use event handler webhook. Then we have a submit action. So what this means is like you can insert a webhook submit action in the approved state of workflow. Okay. So whenever an item has been approved or whenever item is moved to the approved workflow state, it will send a HTTP request to the specified endpoint. So it will notify if you want to send a notification whenever the new item has been approved. We can use webhook submit action to send the notification like this item has been approved, and it will be published. Then we have a validation action, but like if we don't want only to send the notification on the once the item has been approved, but we want it should until we approve. So what validation action is, you can add a webhook validation action to a command item of a workflow that changes the state in review to approved. So here, validation actions means like we need to add some action in review command itself. Like whenever the item is in review state and it is moved to the approved, we need to send a response HTTP request to a specified endpoint. Then endpoint must return a response validating the command. Okay. So now we are like in validation, we are waiting for the response to come back from the specified endpoint. And whenever the response come, only then item will move into the approved state. If we are not getting the response from the endpoint, then the item will not approve. So it's a validation action which we can perform, and we can simply create the webhooks under the like system settings, and we can set them there. So I have put some links as well how we can configure them into the site code. Then we have XMCloud pages. So like pages and components, like these are like kind of a same thing. Like in this, we can create the pages with the WISI, like what you see is what you get editor, and we can easily make changes to the items that are visible on the page. Like we can change the text, graphics, logos, and everything. Like can edit on the page editor. Then we can create the new pages as well, and we can add the components and edit the components. We can do everything on the page as well. And on components as well, like we can develop the components and simply use them on the pages. So there's nothing major. Yep. Then we have a publishing to Experience Edge. When we create a website, okay, then we need to publish. Now in this XM Cloud, the publishing will be done to the Experience Edge. Okay, so and this like in this, like items are published to the Experience Edge as a web pages, site layout, navigation, and other elements you rendered by your website by using lightweight JSS front end that consumes its content from Edge. So now this will consume the data from the Edge because everything will be on Edge if we publish the content. And the best practice is to use the workflows, because like Sitecore strongly recommend to implement workflows to control publishing. Because if we are doing the manual publishing, then sometimes accidentally publish the content before it's ready. So best practice is to use the workflows. And in the publishing pipeline, so there are four. The publishing pipeline performs the four tasks here. It will calculate the additional dependencies and resolve them. Like if you're publishing any page and there are data sources attached, or if there are any items which are built from a particular template, it will calculate all the dependencies and resolve them. So it will publish all the other items as well, like the data source item, and it will also delete the expired content. Like if it founds like there is some item is not there in the CM, but it's present on the Edge, so it will delete from the Edge as well. So it's and on this, like these are the four steps, and these are like important one from the exam perspective. Then we have a security for developers. And in XM Cloud, like so it is not specific to XM Cloud or XP. So security means like if we are going to like there's two types, like either on the user level or on the role level, or on like we can so as in XP, like we are providing the access rights to the users, and it's always recommended to give the access right on the role level, because if we need to apply a group of users, if we need to access to the group of users, and if we add the rights on the role level, so we can simply assign that role, or if we can add that user into that particular role, so it will help us to modify the change, modify that access in the future as well. And there are a lot of key pointers, like we can use the roles to manage the website authorization. So there are two things, like previously we discussed about the roles. Those were for the XM Cloud portal. They are organization, owner, user, and admin. But these are for the, like if we're creating the websites, these are the similar way like we are using in the XP, like user and roles. We can provide the access to the sites into the content tree, and so there is one more thing, like you will get some questions like that, like if there is one role has been assigned and if another role is also assigned to the user, and maybe user will the items which were visible earlier is now not visible to the user, or some kind of these scenarios questions you will get. So sometimes there are some access right has been given on one role, but there's a deny access on the another role. So deny will always take precedence, and if any item, if in one role we have given the access right, but on another role we are denying the read access or write access for that particular item, then deny will take precedence, and the user will not able to see that item. So these are the like basic things which we need to see. Then we have a data modeling. So data modeling, like uh, there are few things which we need to consider. Like if you want to create a language site in SXA, so it's like XM Cloud certification, but you will see questions from the SXA side as well, and the basic SXA question, basic Sitecore questions as well about the standard values, templates, and inheritance. Those questions will be also there into the exam. And how we can create a language version of SXA site, how we can create a language site in SXA. So it's always preferred to use a script. So it is a out of box one. Whenever we right click on the site and under scripts, we have a add site language. In that we need to select the source and target language, which will help us to create the language versions of all the items for that particular site. And there are some key pointers like standard values item. Standard value item contains all the fields. So like if we have a template and we inherit another template on that template, so in standard value we will be able to see all the fields of the base template and the inherited template. And then we have a templates which are used to define the data structure. If before creating any website, if we need to build a component, so first thing is to define a template which will help us to set up a data structure for that component. Then template inheritance, like there are few questions in 10 as well based on inheritance. If two templates having same fields are inherited, then what will happen? Then we will be able to see the duplicate fields on the item level, or they will merge. So like yeah, but yeah, these type of things will be there. So we need to take care of this template inheritance concepts as well. Then we have a insert option control, effective insert option. So we have insert options as well if we want to control the authors to add the specific items under the particular item. So we can set the insert options as well to control the authors to add a particular item only under the particular. Uh, that's it, like from the overview perspective about each and every competency. Then I have a lot of important links. Let me try to give me a second. Yep. So let me overview a brief about the XM Cloud portal. So whatever we have discussed, so maybe you will get much understanding from this portal. Okay. So we have this cloud portal. Okay. So in this portal, this is an organization. Like altogether, we have an organization, and we have access of all the apps like Personalize, CDP, Connect, XM Cloud. So this is a complete hub, central hub to access all the DXP products and manage the access of team members. So how we can access, manage the access. So now, right now I have admin access. So it is showing here. And if I want to invite any other team member, as I am admin, so I only need to, like, there are two access I can give. Either that will be organization user or organization admin. And I simply need to give the mail ID so I can. And for the user, we have an option to add the apps. So we can give the access of the specific apps only. And admin will have access of the everything, like all the apps which are there. So we can invite new team members on this portal from this. And this is a portal. And if you want to go to the deploy app, we can simply click here. It will open the XM Cloud deploy app. This will be the URL for that. And here, so if I show you deploy app, in this we have a list of projects. So if I show you, like, on every project, we have three environments. So one will be the prod, two will be the non-prod. And if I am going to create a new environment, and we need to, like, as I mentioned, like, we need to give the environment name. And if I mention something like test, so it will ask, like, is this a production environment? We can select either yes or no. No as well, like, we cannot create because already we have two non-prod. And if I'm going to select yes, then it will also not, because we already have three. One is prod and two are non-prod. So we are not able to create a new environment. Then we can create link that environment with the branch. So we can select our branch and link the environment. Then we can set the like deploy options as well, like we auto deploy on push to repository, no, or yes, we can select simply. So, and then if I click over here, we will be able to see the deployments, and you will see like auto update deployment by Sitecore. So Sitecore is also like auto updating, auto deploying the fixes and all those things from their side. And we can see like this is the deployment logs. We can see there are 4 things like provisioning, build, deployment, and post actions. And you can go to the XM Cloud, you can download the logs, you can promote to the another environment. So all those things we will be able to do from here. And we can see like these are the things, all logs. We can select whether we want to see errors, we want to see warnings. So those everything we can access from this deployment logs. Yeah, and another thing, like if I tell more about this portal, cloud portal, then in this we have, so if I open any of the XM Cloud application, so we have a sites over here and we have tools. In tools, it is a kind of a launch pad. Okay, so we can open the page designer from here, and we can also have option to the component builder. In the component builder, we can easily create the components, and in pages, we can add the components. Simply, we have a list of components. We can drag and drop and add it on the page. And in the component builder, so like if I pick any of the component, so if this is the component, we can simply see like this is the block which is coming. Okay. And if I show you, so we can see simply move it anywhere on this. And if I want to make it as a banner and I want some background image, so we can simply click on this section, and we can see like right now background image is none. But if there are multiple options to add the data sources, either we can add the URL of the image, or we can simply select it from the like local my system as well. Then we can map it. Like there are some data sources we can map from the graph QL as well. So if I try to use the existing data source, then we can simply use image src. So in this way, we can map the data sources from this portal, and we can adjust this thing. And if I want to add new block, so it's simple. We need to simply add the new block as well. Sure. So in this grid, if I want to add new block, I can add, and simply I can use the block, add the card, and anything, any component I can put image. So it's easy to create the components in this. So I think it's all about the component and the page designer. Then I have some important links as well for the exam preparation. So like Sitecore has official study guide. So if I show you that study guide, there are a lot of things in that. So on e-learning itself, you will be able to access that study guide, which will have all the competencies. Just give it for a second. So this will be the study guide through which you can prepare for the exam, and all the competencies which we discussed. So you will be able to access, like if you want to study about serialization, you can go to these links and read about the serialization. And there is a practice exam by the Sitecore, which you can give. There are around 8 questions in this. So you can prepare with this study guide and these exams. And another thing is which I have is the practice exam. This practice exam is I have created, and it's there on my website. And you can simply go to this link, and you can simply click on start exam. There are some guidelines before that you can read, and you can start the exam. So you will be able to get a lot of like 50 questions is there in this practice exam. and we're not gathering any of your personal information, you can simply add your email ID and you can go with this exam and submit, and you will get your uh, result on the email itself. At the same time, you will be able to get your result, and whether you have how much you scored in this practice exam. So while preparing for this exam, you can go with this practice exam, and there will be around 50 questions. So simply, it's a kind of a Google form. You can simply submit and click on submit, and you can select this, send me a copy of my response. So you will get the response as well once you are complete with this practice exam. And other than that, you can purchase the exam from the WebSS site itself, and then you're good to go for the exam. That's all. And that's all from my side. So any questions?
Thanks, Vishal. Yeah, a lot of insights here. Any of
Great
you guys
presentation,
have any
Vishal.
questions?
Yes, just one question, Ajay Vishal.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually,
Yes.
as sorry.
Yeah, Kirti, go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah. So as we know that in the exam we have different types of questions over there,
Mhm.
like theoretical, like some configuration level or some
Mhm.
code block, and
Mhm.
the scenario based question. So
Mhm.
what is the percentage of the scenario based question in this exam? Any any rough idea?
So that will be around 20%, which will be the scenario based.
Okay, okay.
Vishal, Ramesh here. So any workaround we need to do in the cloud. So because we don't have access directly to access and the to create the pages and samples, right? So
Mhm.
it is mandatory to do some activities to create the pages and everything to do the exam.
No, like, do you have the access of XM Cloud portal?
No, I don't have.
Okay, but yeah, for that there is a subscription, or maybe if I'm not sure, like if you're working with any organization, and you can check with them, like they will able to provide you the access. If because like if any organization is a partner, they might have access to this portal. So this portal access will be required, and it will be given by the Sitecore only. And once you have access of this portal, then only you will be able to create the sites and pages and the components in this portal.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
That was good. Very good.
Yeah, I think
Thanks.
that.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Vishal, for the great presentation. And yeah, if you guys have any other questions, like when you go through these, so he's available in LinkedIn. I can see here, so you could just like ping him in LinkedIn as well. Yeah, and thanks everyone for joining us this time. And we'll have another session hopefully next month. Please do join us again. Thanks everyone. Have a good one.
Everyone for
Thanks,
joining.
everyone. Thanks,
Thank you.
Vishal.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks for
Vishal.
having me.
Yeah,
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Sure. Thank you.
thank you. Bye bye.